Hello everyone, I'm pleased to see you back at the Wasabi Aquarium channel. Today, I'll show you the diagnostic procedures on how to reset a 60 cm planted aquarium. This video is part 1 of a mini-series. Part 1 will be the theory, and part 2 will be the practical on how to handle resetting a planted aquarium. I'll explain when to reset a planted aquarium in this episode, and actually reset the 60 cm aquarium in the next. I would like to show you all the points in detail, as well as all the important points, such as the steps of dismantling. Alright, let's kick off episode 1, shall we? This video will be useful for the following scenarios. I'm getting bored of my aquarium layout. I tried giving the layout a facelift, but it's still lacking something. And my aquarium is very old now. I'd like to reset for something new. I think this video will be very useful for these scenarios. When it comes time to resetting a planted aquarium, I think it may be difficult and somewhat confusing, particularly for those who are not quite accustomed to it. There are many people who can't take the plunge because it takes too much time, budget and complexity, such as moving the livestock to a temporary location. This is what I typically hear. It is often the case that there is no way to clean and revive a struggling planted aquarium, and you're stuck with little options. So you're in doubt on whether you should reset or not. I will talk about that in this video. Your planted aquarium just might be a little unwell. The good news is there's a way to get back on track without resetting your aquarium. It might be easy or difficult to recover depending on your situation. So, if you really want to avoid resetting your planted aquarium, please watch the video that I've linked in the description first. It might be easier than anticipated. Having an option to recover without fully resetting your planted aquarium is only a good thing. I think it's better to go with that option if you enjoy your layout. In that case, just avoid resetting your aquarium. In any case, I think you can perform a reset rather smoothly with my guidance. Alright, I would like to get into the main subject. There are 3 main scenarios that will qualify for a reset. First of all, your aquarium plants fail to flourish no matter what you do. Second of all, there's an uncontrollable amount of algae or cyanobacteria present in the aquarium. And third of all, the aquarium has reached its end of life and you're seeking a fresh start. I'd like to delve into each one in order and explain further. In the first scenario, the conditions of the plants does not improve after taking all the possible measures in correlation with the algae blooms. In the case of planted aquariums, I think this is the common reason for a reset. In most cases, it's got something to do with ruined substrate. All the roots have overgrown in the soil, affecting neighbouring plants. If this happens, it will be very difficult to recover the aquarium no matter what measures you take. Speaking of which, before thinking about resetting the aquarium, you might want to try replacing part of the affected soil to salvage the layout. Siphon out the old soil, top it with the new soil, and replant the aquarium plants. If this works, you've successfully salvaged your aquarium without resetting. On the contrary, if the deterioration progresses further than that, sometimes this won't work unless the whole thing is replaced. So in this case, it is important to fully reset the aquarium, especially if you find the soil mashed up like milkshake or easily crushed by hand. Over time, I saw more and more of that happening in this aquarium. It's okay if it happens to a portion of the aquarium, but a different story if it's the entire tank. It will become a cloudy particulate and will affect the roots. An obvious sign of struggle will be your foreground plants. That's the case for this aquarium. So in the second part of the series, I will disassemble and reset this aquarium. As this aquarium falls into scenario 1, I know exactly what needs to be done. As you can see, the soil has completely aged, even at the bottom layers. It's easy to understand this by example, as the glossostigma here has really struggled. I fertilized in hopes it will recover, But unfortunately, it's fallen into this situation. The glossy stigma has dwarfed and looked quite miserable. If you recall a previous video post on this channel, I already added root tabs to this aquarium, which clearly didn't work unfortunately. This means that the only way to fix this aquarium is to reset it. Please keep in mind that this aquarium has been running for about 2 years. It can't be helped, but I was testing how far I could prolong the aquarium. A 60cm aquarium running that long has definitely exhausted. As the lower substrate condition is getting worse, I think it's necessary to reset at this point. Next, the uncontrollable number of algae or cyanobacteria present in the aquarium. It will be a situation where you would have to think about resetting. If you have the intention for a reset, you may reduce the number of algae issues if you take specific countermeasures. This all depends on the severity of the algae. If the amount of algae is too much, please take these tips into consideration. I think rather than spending excessive time and money to get rid of the algae, doing a reset saves an overwhelming amount of time and stress. As a result, the cost will be cheaper. Well, there are cases like that. So, if you have a lot of irreparable algae issues, you should reset the aquarium. That's the last resort. But if cost doesn't affect you, then you may recover your aquascape, such as the 60cm aquarium, with the help of 100 amano shrimp. Your algae issues will probably be cleared away after a few days with the light completely turned off. Again, you just have to buy 100 amano shrimp, and then you need to think about dealing with them once the algae issue has been resolved. Since there's no more algae, you might struggle to find other locations or temporary holding tanks to transfer them out to satisfy the dietary requirements. The beneficial bacteria here has been impacted too. The condition of the beneficial bacteria may worsen, impacting the biological filtration of your aquarium. This will mean you will need to do a reset. Therefore, if you see this happening, please switch to the resetting mindset quickly. It's advised that you keep this in mind. You may find yourself reacting irrationally and mistreating the aquarium, and you may cause further headaches for yourself. If you are in this situation, I think it's better to reset it. The next scenario is when the aquarium has reached its end of life and you're just seeking a fresh start. That's right, I can't completely leave the contents as they are and replace the impacted components only. However, if the aquarium is deteriorating overall, then it's time to completely reset it. This also applies to this aquarium here. I have a lot of questions about the number of years that an aquarium can run. My responses is only a guideline, as every aquarium is unique. In my professional opinion, it's roughly 3 years, given that you experience no issues. However, if it is a tank that has improperly been set up or cared for from the beginning, this definitely shortens the 3-year timeline. This setup has been running for about 3 years in total, using a proper aquarium stand. If you think there is no problem with the aquarium, and you like to be proactive in the hobby with a good risk management to avoid water leaks, then I think it's best to replace the aquarium every 3 years. After all, what's a beautiful planted aquarium without being filled with water? I'm wondering how long this aquarium will last before it springs a leak. It would be a serious problem, and I would have to deal with it when it decides to leak. You absolutely need to keep an eye out for it. Therefore, it is my professional opinion that I strongly recommend that you replace your aquarium entirely between 3 and 5 years. I think it's best to keep that in mind. Of course, it is possible to use it for more than 5 years. Silicone joints are stressed in various ways, so it depends on how much risk management is planned for leaks. Hence to my recommendation to replace the aquarium every 3 to 5 years. The glass panels itself should last anywhere between 10 to 15 years. The focus should be on the silicone between the glass. It deteriorates and causes water leaks over time. On this aquarium, the silicone is still in good condition. It's good when it's fine, but what to do when it leaks? In most cases, it's a slow leak, dripping from a specific spot in the silicone. The chances of the entire panel falling off is unlikely. But you never know, this is totally unpredictable. If you're super unlucky, it will just gush out like the cartoons. If you are lucky, you'll just have a slow drip leaking from somewhere on the aquarium, which is the most common event. It's difficult and troublesome to clean up water leaks, so in that case, I think it's a good idea to take the plunge and replace the aquarium before it breaks. Prevention is key. For those who want to use an aquarium for a long time, I think it's better to choose an aquarium with a rim around the entire tank, instead of an all-glass type. The drawback if you choose an aquarium with a black frame is that it won't look so good. Frameless all-glass aquariums, like this tank, looks a lot cleaner. Having a framed tank increases longevity by 20%, as well as the extended number of years of usage. A framed tank will last a long time, and I think it's a good idea to choose one that suits your needs. There you have it. Today, we've successfully covered 3 reasons why you want to reset the aquarium. Keep in mind that resets done in future can be done more quickly and easily after a few goes of resetting. If you're doing this for the first time, it will be quite expensive on the first reset, but less expensive in future resets. You might feel overwhelmed on the first try. However, you'll find that it's not that difficult the more you do it. I can do a reset quite quickly, so I hope I can talk about my tips and tricks in detail in the next video. This video has covered the extreme theories. In the case of an aquarium affected by algae issues, it may be recoverable and salvageable. It is surprisingly quicker to reset for a fresh start. It may be easier to reset than diagnose and treat an aquarium, so a reset is more favourable. I personally think it's a good option. There are many merits to consider. After all, the key here is not to stress if things don't go to plan. A newly established aquarium gives the opportunity to reset the water parameters and bioload, along with various other things, making it easier to manage, especially for aquariums 45 cm or less. If it's an aquarium like that, it's definitely faster for you to do a reset to correct these problems. When it comes to 90 to 120 cm aquariums, it's quite difficult to reset, so it's better to focus on the recovery measures, avoiding a complete reset. Having said that, it seems that reset is best for aquariums 60 cm or less. Well, in my past experience, there are some people who reset their aquariums unexpectedly or too early. In most cases, they lack the necessary tools for a proper reset. I'll summarize these tools in the description below. If you are thinking about resetting your aquarium, please check out the description below. As usual, if you have any questions or you'd like me to explain something further on the procedures of a reset, please don't be shy and submit your comment below. Nora Aqua will endeavour to answer you, but as usual, frequently asked questions may be featured in future videos. I will continue to make helpful videos. Wasabi Aquarium channel will continue to share know-how, tips and tricks that will allow you to maintain your planted aquarium in a more beautiful state for years to come. I'll be so happy if you like, share and subscribe to the Wasabi Aquarium channel. Alright, that marks the end of this video. Thanks for watching and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.